So, today we are here at the studio, and we have a very, very special guest today. It's so special that I'm a little nervous and I have no idea what to ask. We have with us Assemblyman Juan Carrillo for District 39. Good morning, Juan. How are you today?
Good morning, George. I'm good. Really excited to be here. Happy that we're still in summer recess from Sacramento and trying to spend as much time as I can in the district talking to constituents, nonprofit organizations, and anyone that wants to come and talk to us in the office.
All right. So, I know that you're a new assemblyman for our district, right? District 39. But why don't you tell me a little bit more about your background, and how is it that you got into the politics and things like that?
Sure, thank you, George. I was born in Guadalajara, lived there until I was 15 years old, came to California in 1988, just a little bit ago. My introduction to politics was through soccer, believe it or not, football.
Wow.
When we moved to Palmdale in 2005, I was looking for a soccer team for my son, who was 5 or 6 at the time. So asking where can I go find a soccer team, they told me to go to the Lancaster field, so I did. And I found a team, and one of the parents that was in the team, he and I started talking, going watching the kids over practice twice a week, whatever that was. And he turned out to be the president for the Palmdale Elementary Teachers Association.
Mm-hmm.
And he was talking to me, asking me questions, what I did for a living, what education I had, and things that I thought was just chit chat, just talking about stuff. And it turned out that he was scouting me to ask me to see if I was interested in running for the Palmdale School District. Apparently back then, 2013, were having some issues with some board members and the superintendent. So they put a slate of 3 candidates together. I was one of them. They were hoping that 2 of us got elected, but all 3 of us got elected.
Wow.
So that was my introduction to politics, not knowing what a campaign was. I had to learn really quickly. I put a campaign together. That's how I became a board member for the Palmdale School District. Then in 2016, the city of Palmdale was ordered to go into districts for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And then I ran for the Palmdale School District for the City Council, City of Palmdale.
City Council, yeah.
2016, that was a 2-year term. Then in 2018, I ran for re-election for the City Council. That was my first four-year full term as a council member. And then the Assembly District 39 became a new district. And then in 2022, I ran for State Assembly. Got elected, and here we are, almost over a year and a half now, getting ready for re-election coming up in November. But again, it was just not thinking what politics was. I started as a board member for the Palmdale School District, and 10 years later, here we are representing the Assembly District 39 in Sacramento.
District 39, yeah. So District 39, I know that it covers part of the Antelope Valley.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's Lancaster, Palmdale, but I also know that it goes all the way to Victorville. Can you explain
Sure, absolutely.
what the District 39 is, where it started, where does it end, and
Yeah, absolutely. But let me just start by giving you a brief description of how this district came to be.
Okay.
So through the census, every 10 years, population growth, all districts get redrawn, and assembly districts are based on population too. So every assembly person represents about 500,000 people. With redistricting, with population growth, they redrew the entire state of California for assembly districts and senate districts and everything else.
Okay.
So essentially what they did, they took about half of the Antelope Valley district, which was, I believe, AD 36, and then about half of the Victor Valley, AD 34, I believe.
Okay.
And they created the Assembly District 39, which is a new district. This area, the Antelope Valley, Palmdale, Lancaster, had been represented by Assemblymember Tom Lackey, AD 36. With redistricting, the creation of AD 39 gave us an opportunity to run for this district. There was no incumbent. It became an open seat, as they call it. So the redistricting process made this new district, and it runs from essentially the 14 freeway all the way to the 15 in the Victor Valley. and goes further a little bit. So it's East Palmdale, East Lancaster in the Antelope Valley, LA County, and then in the Victor Valley, the cities of Hesperia, about half of Hesperia, most of Victor Valley, and also the entire city of Adelanto. So that's San Bernardino County.
San Bernardino.
So it covers LA County, San Bernardino County, those 5 cities that I mentioned, and unincorporated areas of the counties too, like Sun Village, Lake LA, Little Rock, in the LA County, and El Mirage,
Okay.
over in the San Bernardino County.
So it goes from the 14
Right.
all the way to the 15.
Correct.
Right? And then it goes
As far as Avenue A on the 14th freeway going north. So essentially, it's a boundary line between LA County and Kern County.
so Avenue
side.
A, that's like borderline, like Rosemont.
Rosman, yeah. So Rosman is Kern County.
Okay. And how far down?
Just a little south of Avenue S.
Avenue
Just
okay.
about Avenue S, where the Palmdale Lake is, a little bit that side. And then on the other side, the Victor Valley goes all the way to the 15th freeway and Ranchero Road, I believe, is in the city of Hesperia.
Zero Hesperia.
Down south on the 15th freeway, then north on the 15th freeway, it goes all the way to Route 6, which would be Avenue D,
Yes.
approximately that over there. It's a big district. It does take me
Yeah.
about 2 hours to drive
Wow.
from Lancaster all the way to Hesperia.
Do you think you have more Joshua trees than humans
Oh,
in your
yes.
district?
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of Joshua trees. Funny you mentioned that because there was legislation last year that put Joshua tree permits in the care of the state. Some cities had their own ordinances that protected Joshua trees, like the city of Palmdale. There was an ordinance where every developer had to preserve either in place or transplant 2 Joshua trees per acre. Last year, with the governor's trailer bills, he proposed that all permits for Joshua trees would go to the state, but only for single family, multifamily, and commercial. He left out public works and industrial development. Yeah, so we're still working on that. We know how challenging it is for local jurisdictions and developers, obviously, to go through that permitting process. And by the way, I was a city planner for the city of Palmdale, so that's how I know that the city of Palmdale had a Joshua tree ordinance, and that's how I'm familiar with the process. But we still have a lot of work to do with Joshua trees here in the high desert. We need to preserve them.
Yeah.
Definitely, it's an iconic tree of the high desert.
Right.
I believe that we need to preserve it. But at the same time, we have to make it possible for development in the high desert. Developers go through a lengthy, expensive process for them to develop land. But we need to make sure that we have a balance where Joshua trees are preserved, the iconic tree of the desert, but at the same time making sure that we are providing jobs and development for us in the high desert as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I see them moving the Joshua trees, replanting them is what it's called, right, I guess. I know that when they're doing something over on 15th Street West in Rancho Vista, I think they're bringing a Pollo Campero and some other units there. They had to relocate all those Joshua trees to one side. I'm pretty sure there was hundreds of Joshua trees over at Avenue M14 and 10th Street West where the new Trader Joe's is going to go. All of that had to be relocated.
All of those have to be relocated, but like I said, the city of Palmdale with their local Joshua tree ordinance, they have to preserve a minimum of 2 Joshua trees per acre.
2 per acre. So what happens to the other ones? They can.
There is a take
discard them?
permit. They still have to pay a fee to cut them down.
Oh wow.
But again, I believe that we need to preserve them, and that's why we're working in creating what I like to call a preservation area for Joshua trees. Somewhere in between the 39 Assembly District, where development is going to take decades to get there, where there's the presence of a lot of Joshua trees. Creating a Joshua tree preservation area will make sure that we preserve the iconic tree of the high desert, where development won't happen. Not only for the Joshua tree, but for also endangered species or listed as potentially endangered, like the desert tortoise, the squirrel, the boring owls, and all those different creatures that also are in danger of being extinct.
Yeah. Now, with your district being so large, so big, how do you do it to stay in contact with your constituents and, How do you gather feedback from them?
Yes, so we do have actually two district offices. The main office, the district office, is here in Palmdale.
Uh-huh.
Since the district is so vast, big in region, we were approved to have what is called a satellite office.
Okay.
That satellite office is in the city of Adelanto at City Hall. So that way we have an office for those that live in the Victor Valley to be able to come talk to us. And here in the Antelope Valley, the office here in Palmdale. We do have staff. We have staff in Palmdale. We have staff in Adelanto. So those are ways that you can reach out to us. We also do social media, try to post things on Facebook, try to do Twitter, all of those things that the new technology comes with the social media.
I think it's X now.
Oh, well, it's so hard to keep up with it. So many different apps that come up, I don't know, every 6 months or so.
Yeah.
We also do town halls. Last December, January, we had a town hall in Lancaster at our school.
Okay.
Was pleasantly surprised. Over 35 people showed up.
Okay.
And not too long ago, actually last week, we had a coffee with Assemblymember here in the Palmdale office. I believe it was last Wednesday or Thursday, where we had a few people show up. The office was full, so I was able to give an update on the legislation that we worked on last year, an update on legislation that we're working on this year. And we're actually going to have a coffee with the assembly member this Friday in Victorville.
In Victorville.
So by the Adelanto Stadium.
Okay.
Actually, in Adelanto, we'll be there in the Victor Valley at the Adelanto Stadium doing a coffee so that I can provide constituents over there on that side
Okay.
on the legislation that we were successful on last year. Excuse me, and the legislation we're working on this year.
Okay. Palmdale Boulevard. Let's talk Palmdale Boulevard. I know that Palmdale Boulevard has been an issue for years. It's been a topic with a lot of the community.
Yeah.
A lot of people are talking Palmdale Boulevard. That is not it represents the city of Palmdale, right? And when you get off the 14 freeway on Palmdale Boulevard, it's not a very desirable looking exit, right? Like if I go to another county or if I go to another state to visit and you exit on the main, it's nice, it's beautiful, right? So Palmdale Boulevard has been a topic for many years. And, City of Palmdale really couldn't do much about Palmdale Boulevard because Palmdale Boulevard didn't belong to the city of Palmdale, right? It belonged to Caltrans. And I know that you passed a bill, right? You created a bill and it went through and it passed. Can you talk
Sure.
about that?
Yeah, so it's AB 2082. That's the relinquishment of a portion of Highway 138, which is Palmdale Boulevard, to the city of Palmdale. Essentially from what is known as 4 Points on Avenue T and 47th Street East all the way at the roundabout comes to Palmdale Boulevard, and then 138 continues north on the 14 freeway. And you're right. When I was in the council, we always were asked, how come the city of Palmdale doesn't do what the city of Lancaster did with Lancaster Boulevard? Well, the reason is that it is a highway, Highway 138, Palmdale Boulevard, all the way to the 14 freeway. It's owned and operated by Caltrans. Caltrans has jurisdiction over Highway 138, again, Palmdale Boulevard, and going through Caltrans takes a very lengthy process. And that agency obviously is very busy throughout the state. So it takes a little bit of time to go through their permitting process. Now, on the exit on the 14th freeway in Palmdale Boulevard, I just noticed that they're going to be widening the northbound on Palmdale Boulevard onto the 14th freeway. But going back to Palmdale Boulevard, now that we introduced this bill, AB 2082, it's gone through the legislation process. It passed the Assembly floor. It passed the Senate floor. Now it's in the current status of that process is between the city of Palmdale and Caltrans to negotiate how $25 million will be spent that were allocated for improvements along Palmdale Boulevard. So Caltrans had allocated $25 million to do improvements on Palmdale Boulevard, curb, gutter, sidewalk, those things that were missing on some of the lots along Palmdale Boulevard. Let's keep in mind that 138 will have to be rerouted so that truckers continue to use the highway. So whether that's going to be north of the roundabout on 47th along 50th, maybe it'll go all the way to Avenue M, maybe all the way to Avenue H. Those are negotiations that the city of Palmdale, potentially the city of Lancaster, if it goes all the way to Avenue H, because that's Lancaster.
That's Lancaster, yeah.
That's how the negotiations are going right now. So to get an accurate update, we need to follow up with the city of Palmdale.
Okay.
But once this becomes law, which potentially the governor will sign it, there is no cost associated with the state. So the deficit that we have in California in the budget, this AB 2082 will not get affected because there's going to be no money, no state money allocated for this assembly bill. So once that is completed, then the city of Palmdale will take ownership of Palmdale Boulevard. What that means is that the city of Palmdale will have the freedom to even do the Christmas parade on Palmdale Boulevard.
Oh, wow, nice.
Yeah. So I remember only once that the Christmas parade took place on Palmdale Boulevard because it's, again, a lengthy process and expensive too. So once the city of Palmdale takes over Palmdale Boulevard, again, one of those big benefits is that the city will have the option to do the Christmas parade without having to go through a permitting process to Caltrans, because now we'll be city of Palmdale jurisdiction. Not only that, but also developers that are interested in building on those empty lots that are on Palmdale Boulevard will have to go all the permitting process with the city of Palmdale, not with Caltrans anymore. That's a big advantage for developers and for the city and for us, because we will be able to see Palmdale Boulevard being revitalized. In fact, the city may be already thinking about doing a specific plan or something related to the beautification of Palmdale Boulevard, which again will entice developers much easier to be able for them to develop along Palmdale Boulevard, which is a big advantage for us in Palmdale.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I can't wait to see it. Who knows how long it'll take, but, hopefully I'll still be around to see and enjoy Palmdale Boulevard,
Right. Shouldn't take that long anymore. Again, once the city of Palmdale takes ownership, we will see big improvements on Palmdale Boulevard.
Yeah, well, thank you for updating us on that. What advice would you give young ones that are coming up and they want to get into politics and things like that?
One of the things that I found to be very effective is to participate in local politics. That's where change really happens. For them to attend council meetings, water board meetings, school district meetings, even doing internships in legislative offices. Office may be an opportunity for them. If someone's interested in doing an internship, it will give them an opportunity to learn what the legislative process is, which is a big advantage. Being able to know how legislation works, where it starts, how it's proposed, and the long process that it takes to get bills in front of the governor's desk. That's one way. The other way, for those that are still in school, get involved with your school. There's positions in the school, high schools, where they can start showing their interest in providing service to our communities. Get involved, as those few that are interested. Ask your friends in school, be part of something that they want to do. Education affects us all. Even me, I'm a parent. I still have two kids in school. They're going to start fifth grade coming 2 weeks, I believe, August 12th. So for those kids that are in high school, it's important for them to know who their board representative is. It's important for them to know what their policies are, from the food programs to sports programs, anything related to what's of their interest. That's the advice that I would give them. And again, if there's anyone that is interested in knowing how legislation works, we may be able to have an internship available for them in our office.
All right. Is there anything else that you would like our listeners to know about you or what you're doing in Sacramento or anything like that coming up?
Sure. We are doing a lot of good things in Sacramento, representing the high desert. We've been able to bring resources to the district last year when the state budget wasn't as dire as it is now. Last year, we were able to bring $5.5 million to the district, specifically to the district. We have legislation across the spectrums, from education to communications to transportation, housing, a lot of things that we desperately need in the high desert. We are working on getting public transit projects. One thing that is important for me, for residents to know, is that Brightline is going to start being built. That's a high-speed rail system that is going from Rancho Cucamonga to Las Vegas. And there's going to be a station in Hesperia in the district, and another one just outside of the district in Apple Valley. So what that's going to bring to us in the high desert is an opportunity to have more good paying jobs, union jobs, and it's also going to make a demand for housing, for commercial development, all of those things that we're lacking in the high desert, opportunities for development. And we're also working on connecting the Palmdale Metrolink station with one of those stations, Brightline in the Apple Valley, so that this corridor is able to also bring more people up here, attract people from the LA Basin to come to Palmdale, use those transportation systems to go to Vegas or wherever they need to go after that. It's a very exciting time for us right now. Those are going to be, again, high demand jobs. One thing that we're working on putting together a CT program, career technical education. We're going to be going to Selma, where they have a program where they're training kids to be able to work for the high-speed rail system, the California high-speed rail, not Brightline. These are two different projects.
Different, okay.
But in Selma, they have a CT program where students, kids, can do an 8-week program, I believe it is, so that they can train them, and they get hired by the state to build that high-speed rail system, again, the state project. We're going to be bringing that CT program from Selma to us, to the 39 Assembly District, so that we can prepare those students who don't want to go to college for whatever reason, those that come out of high school. They can get trained to be electricians, carpenters, all the trades that are needed to start building this project in the high desert. That, to me, is going to be a good opportunity for those young kids, again, that want to get in the workforce after high school, and they will be making good money. It's going to be union jobs, and they will also be able to stay right here. They don't have to travel, as many of us do,
Commuting
to work. So very excited about those two things that we're working on. And we'll keep you updated as things progress. As soon as we get a date ready for that CT visit to Selma, and then we're going to see how we can duplicate that program right here in the high desert for us to be able to take advantage of that.
Very interesting. Where can listeners find out more information about you and your initiatives? Where can they go and, get involved?
Well, we do have a website through the state. You can go to californiaassembly.org, look for the assembly members that represent you, in this case, the 39 Assembly District. You can click on the AD 39. You'll see my picture there, and that will bring you directly to our website. That's one way. In that website, you'll see the things that we're working on. You can also contact us in the offices here in Palmdale or Adelanto. That way, we can keep you updated. And the district office and the satellite office in Adelanto were there to provide assistance, primarily with EDD, Unemployment Office claims, the DMB, many other things. And if we're not able to provide you with what you need, we'll be able to guide you to the right office so that you can get the help that you need, I should say. So those are ways that you can get a hold of us.
All right. Okay. Well, thank you for updating us. Thank you for the information. I want to thank you for taking your time and your busy schedule, and coming here and, and update us on what's going on and things like that.
Thank you, Josh. Appreciate the opportunity to be here, and it's always important for us to let our residents know the things we're working on. And by the way, if you guys have any ideas, any legislation that you think we should be working on, please let us know.
Okay.
That's one way that we can always serve you better. That's one way that we can bring your voice up to Sacramento.
All right. Well, thank you very much. And, hopefully this is not the first and only time that you come and visit us and spend some time with us. We'd love for you to come back and update us on different policies and different things that are going on and update the community. So thank you, Juan. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you for having me, George. Looking forward to that. Thank you.
Have a great day.